And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Market Reflection. I haven't seen one of these in a little while, and I apologize for that. It's Tuesday, April the 4th. My name's John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. I hope you had a good trading day. There were a couple of things we discussed in the market prep this morning that I think could have provided some decent opportunity for you. We'll take a look at that on the charts very shortly. So, well, the equities closed lower today. Kind of something we were thinking about was going to be possible after yesterday. The E-mini S&Ps closed unofficially down 27 points, 0.65%. The NASDAQ down 59 points, unofficially 0.44%. And the Dow futures down 216 ticks, 0.63%. Crude oil largely steady by the end of the session today. Closing at 80.71, up 29 cents or 0.36%. So there were a couple of talking Feds today. Neither of them discussed anything about monetary policy. Apparently, they were speaking at something about jobs in economics. Also, well, some of the things that may have affected the markets today, the job openings and labor turnover. Job openings dropped below 10 million, and that's the first time it's been that low since apparently May of 2021. So job openings closing up a little bit. What is the average trader? What is the investor thinking about that? I mean, normally that probably would not be good news, right? If jobs are going away, that's going to be a problem. But we have to remember that everything in the specter of higher rates. So think about that. And we will have to see how things continue to move on. We do have the unemployment rate and non-farm payrolls due out on Friday, which is a short trading day. It is Good Friday. So the markets are going to be closing early. Make sure that you're aware of that and that you trade in the morning if you're going to trade and call it an early day. As far as anything else, tomorrow we do have the ADP employment report, which is going to be kind of foretelling perhaps of what we're going to see on Friday's unemployment situation. International trade in goods and services tomorrow, ISM service index, and the EIA petroleum status report all due tomorrow. Not really sure what they're looking for as far as information. Let me see if I can get the crude stocks, API, they're looking for a draw of 1.6 million barrels. It's about what they were looking for last time, and it came out minus 6 million barrels. Of course, we're all aware that there is some question as to crude supply with OPEC cutting production by over 1 million barrels a day beginning in May to the end of the year. As always, make sure you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, and love are always welcome. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You get notifications when we do go live. Like I said, it's been a while since I've had the opportunity to do a reflection. Hopefully you do enjoy these and find them informational at the very least. I'm not sure how prepared I have some of my charts here. It's been kind of a busy day. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the E-mini S&Ps here, starting as usual on the daily chart. Here we go. So we talked this morning. Let me get my notes out here. We talked this morning. Oh, here, hang on a second. Here they are. We talked this morning about the volume, how volume had slowed yesterday, and how we lost open interest. The actual that we lost was higher than the expected. The preliminary number said we lost 4,200. We actually lost 4,951. Excuse me, in open interest yesterday. Well, when we're when we're talking about the auction process, volume is important. Volume is the driver of price. Open interest tells us how many people or how much money is coming in a particular direction. The fact that we lost open interest on that push higher yesterday was a kind of a warning shot. I said that on the prep this morning. I'm going to be looking for some sort of a pullback. We never got our day time frame opportunity at 4170, which is weekly kickoff high. We did take a look at the opening range, which was the high of the session. It did take it out briefly. Here's what the day trade played out like. Goodness, sorry, apologize. So we opened with a gap. We left the opening range at the high of the day. The first thing we did was close the gap. We took out the high of the opening range. We were unable to even get close to weekly kickoff high or our overnight low. So the market started coming back into range and into value from yesterday. So the market really kind of set us up for a value area special situation play, which we talked about on the prep this morning. I'm going to take this into the profiles in just a second. We see that the market did target one of our weak levels, one of our unfinished levels down here by reaching this naked point of control from back on Friday. All right, take a look at the profiles now. Regular trading session only. We open with a gap. We close the gap immediately. The market looks again higher and can't continue the move to the upside. So now when the market comes back inside of value, now there's two areas of value that we focus on. We focus on volume value high, which is right here, which was a much easier acceptance. And then we also focus on TPO value high, which was right here. It wasn't really until we started to accept inside of TPO value high, which was again right here, 41.49 approximately, that I started to really believe that we were going to start to pull back. So we ended up finishing the value area special situation play in volume value as well as TPO value. We traded to a visual level down here, which was this naked point of control here. I believe we traded to the TPO point of control as well, and we did, to the tick. Traded to the TPO point of control to the tick. How visual are these markets? As a reminder, the value area special situation play, it can be a tough play. It can be difficult to get in without getting chopped up. But it states that when the market opens outside the previous range, it opens with a gap, and then price accepts inside the value area from the previous day, and acceptance is a subjective term, then there's a good probability that price will reach to the other extreme of value at some point during that session. Well, it was within the first couple of hours that we were able to accomplish that today. Then we just rotated once we reached this visual target down here. What about crude oil? What did crude do today? Very similar. Here we are. We're kind of range bound and not quite sure what to do with this market up here. Here's the 30-minute chart. We opened with a gap. We looked higher. We rejected. We came back into range, into value, traded to the other extreme of value. Very similar day. The difference is You really have to judge if the risk you have to take to get into this value area special situation play is worth the risk you have to take. Is the profit big enough to risk what you have to risk? I'm going kind of with no yesterday. The value area was very narrow in crude oil yesterday, but still we opened with a gap. We closed the gap. Once we accept inside that range for the day, we're looking for opportunities for the market to continue to move to the downside. Here's the TPO chart. This is overnight, poor low. We open here. We try and rotate higher. We reject. We reject Friday's high. Oh, this is an overnight high. This is Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday. Sunday night's high we reject. We come back into range. Look where the range is for the day. Basically the range from yesterday. Once we rejected higher pricing and accepted in value or accepted in range from the previous day, the market really just kind of rotated back and forth. We really had low excess on this low yesterday. Excess high, low excess low, low excess low. We're seeing some excess highs up here. Sellers are willing to take that step. Buyers are no longer willing to pay up there. Maybe some interesting opportunities for us in the coming days here. What about the NASDAQ? Did the NASDAQ complete a value area special situation today, or was it even involved in one? Here's the daily, pushing higher. A doji yesterday, lower volume, losing open interest. It seems like the auction is tiring to the upside. So the market, well, let's put the profile on here. So the market, does it open with a gap? It barely opens with a gap. I'm sure the opening range was probably the low. We couldn't get to the high, couldn't hold above last week's high. The market rotates, turns back. Value area special situation all the way through. What about the TPO chart? So open with a gap. Try to move higher, close the gap, reaccept it inside of volume value, reaccept it inside of TPO value, finishes the volume value special situation play, and fails to finish the TPO. Well, the NASDAQ has been presenting as higher, but still a decent opportunity. What about gold? Man, oh man. We talked about this. This market was coiling. It was building energy. I said, balance to breakout rules apply. If we're fading the extremes on this, once we find acceptance outside of this pattern, we have to go with it. Boy, did we go with it today. Man, oh man. And I missed it. I did not participate in this. I was busy. But we opened, here's that trend line. As soon as we closed above that trend line, that's one sign that says the market is accepting above that level. 9 o'clock, we really accelerated, took out the high of weekly kickoff high, took out this trend line, and just hung. No opportunity after that initial push up here. I didn't move it, but man, I was looking at it. I was like, man, I'd better pay attention. And by the time I looked at it, it was too late. Too late. It's all right. I've missed better trades. Trust me. Euro. When the dollar started taking a hit, that's when the gold started taking a hit. That's when the euro started heading to the upside. What did we do yesterday as far as open interest? Yes, we lost open interest yesterday, which would be an indication of potentially slowing of the auction process. But an event happened. We got to see what we did today in open interest tomorrow morning. If we didn't bring in a whole bunch of open interest, this pop here is going to start to look a little bit hollow. Here's the 30-minute chart. Let's get the profile on here. And there we go. So opening and ranging and value, best trade location was probably going to come later in the session. Did come in the first half an hour. But when the numbers came out, the dollar broke, there goes the euro. What about the we got, okay. So my suspicion, I think, by the action here in the 10-year is right. Investors and traders think that the drop in jobs is going to slow the roll of the Fed with increasing rates, evidenced by the price moving higher. Well, we did finally close the gap, traded right to weekly kickoff high, and closed this point of control here. Oh, and there we go. Like, could be some interesting opportunities for us tomorrow, especially if weekly kickoff high is involved. Here's the TPO chart. Excess, low excess, double distribution, and that's about it. Oh, nothing really going on here so much in the natural gas. Here's the 30-minute value, largely the same, holding along that last week low. And that's going to be, we don't need to look at the rest of that, I don't think. We'll check that out in the morning. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow morning for the market prep. Tomorrow we will have the late session of Make Hogue Money, but we will be having group coaching, which I missed on Monday, and I do apologize. Looking forward to a good session. And so, history, 1968, today is the day Martin Luther King was assassinated, a very sad day. 1974, Hank Iron ties Babe Ruth's home run record. 1973, on this date, the World Trade Center, at the time, the world's largest building, opens in New York City. 1975, Microsoft is founded on this day. Scary. What else was there? I'm going to look at music now. Today's Muddy Waters' birthday. Happy birthday, heavenly birthday, Muddy Waters. We had somebody else here I noticed. Pick Withers was the drummer for Dire Straits. His birthday today. And one more thing. 1970, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young's album Deja Vu went #1 on the U.S. charts. The first album in which Neil Young was part of the band. And that's about all I'm going to look up for that. So get some rest tonight. Remember, it is a short week. If you're going to trade on Friday, remember the markets are abbreviated. But we'll remind you again and again before then. So have a good night. Make sure you be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Say a prayer for peace, please. And we'll see you in the morning, 7:45. Have a great night.